In 1955, Grace Hopper would carry around pieces of wire in her purse, 11.8 inches long for a nanosecond and 1,000 feet long for a microsecond. She'd hand them to confused engineers saying, "This is what you're throwing away when you waste a microsecond." But here's the thing. Hopper's real genius wasn't in making time visible. It was in making computers speak human with COBOL. And we're living through exactly what she predicted. But we're risking of making the same classic mistake in humanity that Admiral Hopper constantly fought against. She would tell everyone that would listen that the most dangerous phrase in the English language is, "We've always done it that way." Today's developers sneering at just AI slop or rolling their eyes at vibe coding are repeating history, and they're acting just like the engineers who said COBOL would never catch on. In fact, every time you prompt AI to write code, you're witnessing a future that Grace Hopper basically predicted throughout her career. And today she'd carry Lego bricks as tokens to explain how AI can transform thoughts into code at light speed. To combat this natural tendency, though, I think it's important for us to talk about how we got to this point. What has made professional developers rightly concerned, and what can it teach us about how to use AI actually as a useful tool? In the early days, GitHub Copilot launches. It has autocomplete on steroids. Developers are intrigued but skeptical. It suggests code, sometimes it's right, but often it's not. Maybe it's a faster way to write boilerplate, but nothing more. Then in 2023, the explosion happens. ChatGPT goes mainstream. Suddenly, everyone's talking about LLMs. Cursor arrives to take advantage of this moment. Then in 2024, vibe coding becomes a thing. Suddenly, everyone can be a programmer. Type a description, get an app. The hype is deafening. The reality? Most of that code doesn't survive first contact with production. But then in June of that same year, the inflection point that no one saw coming. Claude 3.5 Sonnet arrives with something different. Actual agency. It can use tools to read files, understand context, make decisions. It's not just spitting out code anymore. It's actually using tools. This is when everything changed. It went from autocomplete to something that acts much more like a human teammate. And think about the difference between those two things. Autocomplete finishes your sentences, but a teammate asks questions, spots problems you might have missed, remembers what you built yesterday. Autocomplete is deterministic. Same input, same output. A teammate is non-deterministic and can be frustrating to work with. And that's precisely what modern AI coding has become. Not a better autocomplete, but a junior developer who happens to type at the speed of light. Now, if you're a senior engineer, you're probably thinking, great, more code to review. And you're right. 54% of developers don't use AI because it doesn't meet their requirements. 48% struggle with controlling it. 30% simply don't understand what they do to impact the output. And this skepticism makes sense. We're the people who refuse to put smart devices in our homes because we know how they work. We saw the Will Smith spaghetti video of AI and those early terrible attempts that were produced, and we saw it produce at incredible speed complete garbage. But here's what's changed. The models got good, really good, and the race to great is happening right now. A modern LLM processes 50 to 150 tokens a second. That's 25 to 50 times faster than the speediest typist. It can hold roughly 20,000 lines of code in its context, which makes it better and more comprehensive than the early demos that many of us remember. So here's the mental trick and model that makes everything else click. AI is not a deterministic tool, it's a non-deterministic team member. And let me be specific about what agentic means here. Instead of only generating answers, AI can now choose and execute actions inside a constrained environment of your editor, test runner, API, the browser. Once you internalize this, it's understanding that two things can be true. It's not just another deterministic tool like language servers, but it's also not worthless just because it isn't completely deterministic. That's when you can realize that you can have the benefits that others have seen without the developers are going extinct mentality. We've gone from punch cards to assembly languages to high-level languages to natural language. Each step has made programming more accessible without making it less powerful. Grace Hopper fought for 30 years to make computers understand English. Today, they do better than ever before. The question isn't whether to use AI teammates, it's how to manage them effectively. And that's what we're going to talk about next.